Hello everybody, today is Friday, September 28th. It's 3:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's about an hour before the regular session close. On my right you can see my PC calendar, the date and the time, and then on my left is the time of sales with the Emini S&P trading at 29.18. It was a spectacular day for the Autotrader. Almost every chart we follow finished positive. First up is the DAX on the Super Renko 14 tick with a $3,500 goal. This hit its goal and had a couple of ticks of slippage. I want to talk about daily goals and weekly goals. In the upcoming version of Ninjatrader 8, which we expect to release by December, we intend to have a weekly goal. And a weekly goal is just as important as a daily goal. In Top Step Trader, if you are trying to qualify for a funded account, you cannot have more than a certain amount of money as a weekly loss limit, and that makes perfect sense because having goals is all about controlling risk, and that's how professional traders approach the market, is how can I control my risk, and the winners take care of themselves. And that's pretty evident on this chart. We have a couple of small losing trades, 3 of them to be exact, but the way the parameters are set up here, it allows us to have some small losers, and then of course eventually the big short came here and took care of business, and then a small winner here put us over our goal. So a weekly goal is really important. This chart and a couple of others that I'm going to show also hit their goals yesterday. So between yesterday and today we had some pretty lofty returns, and if you had a weekly goal, that would have likely been achieved. So I can't understate the importance of a weekly goal. Okay, next up is the DAX on a 16-tick Super Renko chart, and this is similar to the 14 Super Renko. This hit its goal of 3,500. Similar looking trades. We have an open position on the NASDAQ 1597 Heikin-Ashi chart. Once again, a small loser followed by a couple of nice winners back to back here. A loser here, and we're currently long too. So we have a closed P&L of 885 and an open position with just a couple of ticks in the trade, but you can see it here. Okay, next is the DAX on a 150 Heikin-Ashi chart. We've seen this chart quite a bit, and this had a little bit of a drawdown here, only about 250 per contract, and then came back, which doesn't look like very much, you know, in terms of size of the trade, but it definitely brought us near our goal. And then finally on this little trade here, this is a limit order with a pullback of 7 ticks, so it's that deep pullback that I talked about in yesterday's video. If we're wrong, we're that much closer to our reversal point if we're wrong, and that gives us an edge. The trade-off is you might miss some trades, but it often catches a move, you know, can make something out of a shorter move like this. Okay, next up is the Emini S&P on a 987 Heikin-Ashi chart, and again we see nice size winners but small losers, and the Autotrader is very capable of this. You might have to find the right settings, but I share all my settings, such as those you see in the YouTube videos, if you purchase a license for the Autotrader. In any case, there were some really nice looking trades. This has a goal of 1,500, so this chart hit its goal with a couple of ticks of slippage. Okay, the ES on a 987 tick line break chart. This chart has been really consistent, and this did 1275 for the day. The goal on this is 1,300, so obviously hitting its goal. And again, relatively small losers compared to the winners. Okay, the crude oil on a Super Renko 7 tick. Speaking of small losers, here we go again, and that's partially because we have a limit order with a 4 tick pullback on a 7 tick chart, and then we were able to absorb the losers and come back and have this really solid winner, which brought us to our goal on this chart, which is 1,200. Okay, this chart used to be the mid cap, but I changed the symbol to the NASDAQ, and it's actually using a DAX template with a limit order and a 6-tick pullback, and this apparently worked on the NASDAQ. This is the first time I showed it. Looks like we had a drawdown here of about 100 per contract, and then we came back with some solid winners in a row. 6 or 7 winners in a row on this chart. There's a small losing trade here and here, but again, that small losing trade and substantial winning trades, and this brought us, well, we drew down again here, so some volatility on the chart, but it ultimately came back up and hit our goal here. So there was quite a bit of action on this chart here. If I bring the bars close together, we can see the equity curve, and it's very beneficial to observe this here. If we would have had a more modest goal of, say, 1,000, we would have hit our goal early on in the first 30 minutes of trading. So choice of size of daily goal is something you should spend some time on and think about carefully. Okay, the crude on a 987 tick chart had mostly winning trades. This one is trading 3 contracts. This was all winning trades, actually. And so this hit its goal, I believe, of 1,300 and had 1 tick of positive slippage. Really nice looking signals on the indicators. This is just a straight 987 tick chart. There's really good volatility today for a Friday. So the Emini S&P on a Super Renko 6-tick hit its goal, and this common theme today, larger winners and small losers here. There was a total of 4 trades, 1 loser. This had no slippage. Okay, the DAX on a Super Renko 6-tick had a drawdown here of about 150 per contract, and then came back with this trade here to do 962.50 for the day. Our goal on this is 1040, so it probably hit its goal and had some slippage. Okay, the Super Renko 8-tick on the crude looks like it had 2 trades here and hit its goal of 1,000. This is trading 2 contracts with no slippage. The Emini S&P on a regular 5 Renko chart has been pretty solid. This is trading 3 contracts and did a little over 1,000, 1 tick over 1,000, and the goal on this is 1,050. Okay, the crude on a Super Renko 6-tick had moderate action here and came up, had a little bit of noise here, but the losers were small, and then came back with these trades here and hit its goal of 1,000 with 1 tick positive slippage. Okay, the NASDAQ on just a regular 987 Heikin-Ashi tick chart had 4 trades, 2 small losers here, and then the 2 winners on either side of that, and that did hit its goal of 1,000. The Emini S&P on a Super Renko 6-tick hit its goal of 1,000 on 3 trades, a small loser here and 2 winners. The Emini S&P Super Renko 4-tick, and this one looks like it has the 2-tick other time frame. This hit its goal of 750 here on 2 trades. Emini S&P on a Super Renko 4-tick chart using our line break logic had 2 trades back to back and hit its goal of 750 with a couple of ticks of slippage. The Emini S&P on a Super Renko 2-tick with a 4-tick higher time frame had 2 winners back to back and hit its goal of 750. Okay, we had a modest gain on the gold, and this did 360 for the day. Yesterday it did about 150, but I didn't show it. So this is a chart we used to show all the time. It's the bonds on the Super Renko 6-tick. This did 500 for the day. And we'll come back to our Emini S&P on a 987 Heikin-Ashi chart. That's all for today's video. Thanks for watching.